His name's Aang. In the movie, they call him Ung. Ung. They're like, Ung, you've been chosen. Ung.
I know they've been seeing that. I've been dying, like, when you started saying the characters' names, because I just knew how you were going to pronounce it. So bad. How did Aang become Ung? Welcome to the Point of View podcast. My name's Osatohamen.
And my name's Uyiosa.
And here we are for another episode.
Yeah, super excited. Just jump into it. This one's an interesting one, so stay tuned.
Yeah. So today we wanted to rank the top 10 worst movies we've literally ever watched. And so, I don't know, we were trying to come up with a list and we were like, is this bad? We have different criteria. We'll get into that. But these are some of the top 10 worst movies we've ever watched.
Yeah, there have been times where, especially when you go to the movie theater, there's some movies, you watch at home, whatever, I can skip it, I can pause it. Mm-hmm. But, you're sitting in the movie theater, you're watching this movie, and you're about like halfway through, and you're like, this sucks. This is like horrible cinema, like worst, horrible acting, cinematography, directing, editing, whatever it is. You're like, this movie sucks. And you're just like, yep, this is going on the list. And those are the movies that we have for you guys today, because it is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. And just to keep you guys watching, we have a bonus one to our 10. So an additional one more at the end. So stay tuned, watch the whole video or listen to the whole episode in order to hear what our... It didn't quite make the list, but it's still pretty bad in our opinion.
Yeah, and disclaimer, these are just our opinions. Yes. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, of course, but let's just get right into it.
Yeah, so do you want to start with the first one?
Yep, I'll start with the first one. Hopefully people have heard of these. That'd be really...
No, okay, these are so popular.
Yeah, I feel like you have. This one is a romance movie. It's a rom-com, so I hope most people have heard of it. Miss Congeniality. I hope I said that right. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna repeat it.
If you're an OG in this channel, we sometimes struggle to pronounce normal words.
Like, I know what it is. Like, I've known what that movie is for years, but I still don't know how to say it. But a quick little rundown of the movie in case no one's ever heard of it and you want to watch it, because again, this is the bottom of the list, so I would recommend this movie. It's basically about this girl. She's like an agent. She is, of course, like your typical tomboy, like, I'm an agent, like, oh, I have to get the mission done, like, I'm going to go ahead and do whatever I want, like, solo female, does what she wants. And so there's this mission, basically, of, like, this terrorist that's, like, been, like, on the loose. And so, basically, the whole point of the movie is they need, like, a girl to go undercover to a pageant and find the killer and, like, be able to, get all the details, evidence, and everything gathered together. And so, of course, she's, like, this tomboy, and it's, like, she's, like, no, I can't, like, have makeup and wear a bathing suit, because, Miss America, they have to do all of the everything. They have to give the speeches and everything. And so, like, the whole movie, it's, like, this transformation from this tomboy to this girl. And, of course, there's a boy, and I won't get too much into it. Yeah. But... my biggest critic on this movie, because it wasn't a bad movie, I didn't like how the movie almost made it seem like when she became like a girly girl, that's when the guy liked her. Like, before they acted like siblings, like literal it was like weird. Like, he would like hit her butt and like they would like actually brawl, like on the floor fighting, which is like their agent, so I guess like you need to like but I was like, and then all of a sudden the last 30 minutes of the movie he's like, yeah, like, you're really pretty. And I'm like, where did this... It felt really, like, rushed and superficial. And Sandra Bullock is in the movie. Love her as an actress. She's a great actress. But the movie just didn't make the cut for me. Good movie, but not my favorite.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't... So, like, I've never watched this movie, funnily enough. Like, I know it's a huge rom-com, but I didn't realize it was, like...
Yeah, you wouldn't think it's about what it's about.
Yeah.
Like, when I was watching, I was like, this is not what I thought the
I think
movie
I've,
was.
like, seen, on TikTok where, like, they have, like, clips of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I've watched a couple of clips. So when you started talking about, like, the pageant and everything, I was like, okay, I remember seeing this. I remember her being in that office where she worked and everything. but never watched the movie. But that's disappointing that they like made it this like,
Yeah.
oh, the girl can only get the guy once she becomes this girly girl that's like into pageants, which is so like false.
And I was like, yeah. I mean, like, I knew they were gonna get together, like, at the end, but it was
It's a rom-com.
It was like he literally it was almost like he had no interest in her until like the end of the movie, and I was like, all right, well,
no,
it is what it is, but
I hate messages like that.
Yeah, no,
could have done better. Yeah, I feel like we didn't say this though. We are going from 10 to 1. Did we say that?
I don't know.
Because you were like saying, oh, this is like the worst, or this is not a bad movie. It's
yeah.
Just, so it's like some of these are like, this is not bad. Like some of these are actually done pretty well. But in our opinion, the writing, the story, or just aspects of it
just didn't cut it.
Just didn't cut it. And then for my number, I guess 9 is this is such a random one. It's called Sing. I hope people know what this is.
Sing 1.
Because
there's a Sing 2.
Which also sucks.
Yeah.
So it's actually Sing 1 does suck. Like, to go back on what I just said, it actually is a terrible movie. But it follows this koala who, like... So these are talking animals, by the way. Follows this koala, and he owns this like theater that's like, you know, in troubled times, it's failing, and he's like, oh no, what do I do? He's like, to gain more traction, he's like, I'm gonna start a singing competition. And so he starts the singing competition, and he originally wanted the prize money to be $1,000. Not bad if you're, you know, a struggling theater, okay? But he has some like old like receptionist who like,
she's a sheep, I think.
I can't. It's been so many years since I watched this, but yeah, I think you're right. It is a sheep, and the sheep receptionist, and instead she puts 2 extra zeros after the 1,000, which is $100,000. They don't proofread this, which is just like, who doesn't proofread? And so they send these flyers out. And of course, the whole town is like $100,000 to sing.
Yeah, I can sing now.
I can sing now. And so like everyone just comes together and is like coming to this competition and everything. And this guy is like, what do? I don't have 100,000. He had a family member he was able to convince to give him like the money and everything.
That's a nice family member.
I know, but it just follows this it just follows the different people that are going to be in the competition and their stories. It's a mom, it's a daughter. It's just
the
like
stories of the like characters are actually like kind of sweet, but overall,
like the movie would have been fine, I guess, as a cartoon. But what made it, in my opinion, like one of the worst movies I've ever watched was the marketing behind this movie. So I watched this movie, I think, when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, and I remember when it was coming out. All the kids
everywhere,
ads everywhere. All the kids were excited. At school, you were talking about it, and so I was so excited to watch this movie. And there were certain songs, certain scenes that we were ready to listen to in this movie. And then when the movie came out, and I went to watch it, those scenes that they were advertising were gone. I kid you not, they were not there anymore. And I was like, what the heck?
There were at least 3 clips in the trailer that weren't in the movie.
And I was like, who did this? Like, I was so mad.
That's kind of cruel.
Like, it is. And it made it the worst movie. Like, I don't even care, like, if the story was good or not. Yeah, like, it isn't. Like, I was expecting 3 certain songs, and they weren't there.
And it was like good songs too. It was like, oh, this actually looks interesting. Mm-hmm. And like, and I remember the whole movie I was waiting for it. I was like, where'd that scene go?
Yeah.
Because I know they make like cuts at the end, so maybe they put out the trailer before they made those final cuts.
Like, you don't do that. You just don't.
That made me mad. Like,
it made me so upset. But yeah, that's our number 9. My number 5. It was not a good movie, basically only because of the marketing of it.
Yeah, literally.
So that's how important marketing is.
It is really, it'll get you there, but it might not keep you. So you gotta make sure the movie's actually good too.
Yes.
And wow. Okay, this one, guys, this one should probably be my number 1, but there are some pretty bad movies up there that like, oh, the list just gets worse and worse. I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie because it came out this like October because it was supposed to kind of be like a horror movie.
October 2024.
Yeah, so it's called The Trap. I think it's actually on Netflix now. Oh, when I saw that movie on Netflix, I was so mad. I was like, take this down. Of course Netflix would take it. Netflix takes like every movie ever made, like, but it's called The Trap. And just a quick little summary. There's this girl that's a singer. She's basically supposed to be the Taylor Swift of like their world. And so there's this girl, she goes with her dad to this concert and she's like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to see a singer like all my life. Like I love her so much. And the dad's like, all right, we're going to this concert. Everything seems great. The movie's going amazing. A little boring because like nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, it's like the place goes on full lockdown. All of a sudden there's cops everywhere. There's like people are getting checked, like their security bags are getting checked. You can't leave. You can't come back in without getting checked, like for fingerprints, whatever you have in your bag. And literally, like the point of it is that like there's this killer called the Butcher that basically is chopped up like 12 people and like hidden their bodies, and it's like they're like, oh, it's rumored that he's at this concert somehow. And of course it's like this dad is like they like basically tell you like he is the Butcher, but like nobody knows that. Like none of his family knows and the other characters know. So like other people are telling, they're like, oh, they're coming after the Butcher, like this guy's crazy. And of course they're telling it to the guy, and I'm like, oh my God. Movie 101. Like, come on. Don't talk to some random dude about catching a criminal.
Because it was a police officer, right?
No, it was like, it was one of the ticket, like the shirt people.
Okay, because I remember, I didn't watch this, but I watched the trailer.
Yeah, like it's the guy that's selling like the t-shirts at a concert, and he's kind of like talking to him like off to the side. And he's like, yeah, the Butcher, like everyone's going to come get him. And you know, the movie looked kind of good. Like the trailer low-key looked interesting.
It looked good.
But the problem is the movie is too long. They spent 1 hour at the concert. Like, I kid you not, 3/4 of the movie was sitting at that concert trying to find the Butcher. Literally, like, the dad would walk off for 30 minutes. The daughter would be like, Dad, where'd you go? Like, you're acting weird. And then, like, they'd be like, oh, and then it'd be a close call. Like, the Butcher dude steals someone's identity. The cops are right behind him, and he gets away at the last second. It was so predictable. It was so long, and it was so boring. And then it turned into, it was supposed to be this cool twist where he, like, kidnaps the actual lady that's like singing, performing, the Taylor Swift type girl. Like he basically lies that his daughter has leukemia, and they're like, yeah, she only has a couple months left to live, and you're her role model. So of course there's like one girl you can choose to come up. She's like, oh well, you know, since she's dying, because the dad lied that the daughter was dying, and so the daughter's happy because she doesn't know that her dad just told this lady she's gonna die. And so he like basically corners the concert lady, like the singer. Like they take them home and it's like a whole thing. She figures out he's the Butcher. I don't really know how. And then the whole movie is just like this cat and mouse of like the cops are looking for him. He's running away. He has the singing lady with him. His family's like, oh, we didn't realize you were evil. And it was like, it was just so... it was so long. Like, it had so much potential, but it was so long and horrible. Why did they spend an hour at the concert?
And, like, why is this guy, like, acting sus? Like, if they don't know who you are.
Like, why do you leave for 30 minutes? Now you don't have an alibi.
Like, it's, I hate movies that just, the plot doesn't make sense. I mean, like, you spend all this money on writers and directors and producers, and you literally produce a movie.
I hope they lost money. I hope they like went over budget and they didn't do well in the box office, because that movie was just, there was a twist in there. They probably did
because of people like you.
Yeah, I know. But hey, I was the $5 Tuesday, so they only got half my money for that ticket. But I will say the plot twist in the end is kind of like intriguing, and it's kind of like, oh, I'm back in it. But then again, they flop it so hard that you can't stay engaged. Like there's a fine line of balance you need to have to engage an audience for it to also be like serious and scary. Because it was supposed to be a horror movie, but they failed at it. It wasn't that great.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Terrible
It
movies.
sucks when the trailer's so good. Like, again, like saying, trailer looks great, and then
The trailers are literally like, I feel like Marvel has probably like ruined us because they hype up these amazing trailers. So you think all these other like movies are gonna have like amazing stories and everything because their trailers are good, but in reality, like the trailers absolutely suck. I mean, the movies absolutely
They
suck.
like cut the best scenes they could possibly find. Like, no.
No, I hate when like, you know, you get those like unreleased cuts from like older movies. Like Star Wars has come out with like unreleased cuts, or like Disney now on Disney Plus, like the new Star Wars on it now has some of the unreleased cuts. And I'm like, these stories would have made the movie like so much better. Like, why did you cut this?
Like, even Hunger Games too.
Really?
There's some scene, there's like Peeta and Katniss scenes where I'm like, it's like the romance story, and I'm like, this is perfect.
It would have helped build their romance story, because like, I mean, beautiful movie. Like, I think they did a great job, but it could have been only enhanced.
I feel like their romance could have definitely been like a lot, because I feel like in the books it was so prominent.
Yes.
But in the movies it was kind of watered down a bit. It was still good, but like, you know, it could have been better. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I know there's a lot that goes into that with like deleted scenes, because it's like,
and they have probably like a cut, like, oh, we can only do 2 hours, something.
Yeah, because they don't want to make a 4-hour movie, you know. But whatever.
I mean, like, Endgame was almost 3
Endgame
hours.
was like 3 hours and like 30 minutes or something.
That's crazy. The way that we watched that.
I'll watch it again.
I'll watch it again. I really want to rewatch the whole, like...
Marvel is making me sad. The new Marvel movies just aren't.
They aren't good.
I watched a Marvel movie the other day. What was... Captain America, A Brave New World. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, they're like hit and miss now. It used to be that everything was good. Now it's like, one and...
And their shows... She-Hulk.
I haven't watched a single
Miss
show.
Marvel. The only show I liked was Moon Knight, and then the one with Bucky.
You didn't like WandaVision?
I didn't watch it. I couldn't get into it.
Really?
I never really liked Wanda's character. I'm gonna be honest, but
I didn't know that. But no, Marvel is not on this list because we love Marvel.
They're too good.
They're too good.
And we don't watch the trash that they come out with now.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I have never, like, if it's bad, I haven't watched it.
Madam Web. Did you hear about that movie?
I didn't watch it. I heard about it. Even like the actor hated on it.
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
Something. Wow. No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for my next movie, this movie sucked. Like, it's so bad and it's so cringe, and it's called Tall Girl.
Oh gosh.
And this came out, I think, in 2019.
2019, yeah.
When I was, like, looking up when all these movies came out, like, I realized, like, all these rom-coms came out in 2019.
COVID.
No, this wasn't COVID. This was before COVID.
No, but I think
No, this was all before. To All the Boys I Loved Before was 2018. The second movie was 2019. Kissing Booth was around that 2018, 2019. All the Netflix rom-coms came out.
Netflix knew something. They were like, we got to push out all our best movies right now before.
Best. Tall Girl is not included in the best.
Mine is scratch out Tall Girl, everything.
But this follows a girl. Her name is Jodie. And she's like this really, really tall girl. Like, funny, the little side note, she's actually not, the actress isn't even that tall. Like, she's 6'1".
Yeah. Which is tall for a girl.
But the way in the movie they made it seem like she was like some ginormous giant.
I literally thought she was 6'6".
And like, you know, they just got like all her other like co-stars are short. And she was this like huge girl. Reality only 6'1".
I know. I was like, all right.
And it follows this girl, and this quote that she said, because I had to write it down because this was like the most. I remember TikTok back in 2020 was roasting this quote so badly. And I'm gonna read it out because I don't want to mess it up. You think your life is hard? I'm a high school junior wearing size 13 Nikes. Men's size 13 Nikes. Beat that.
Girl, anyone can beat
that.
Oh, I remember how people on TikTok were like, well, my mom just died of cancer. Like, it would be the most extreme thing
So when I was looking up the quote so I could like copy and paste it, like I saw a Reddit thread, and it was like, okay, guys, beat this. Because it quoted it. And it was like, okay, guys, beat it. And someone was like, well, like, my mom died or this happened, cancer.
Yeah.
It was just so, like, I mean, not that their situations are funny, but it's just like, what do you mean you think your life is hard? There are worse things than wearing...
being 6'1".
No one said that you have to, like...
Now, if she was a 6'10" girl, I'd be like, all right, that's kind of crazy. But, like, 6'1", I'm 5'10".
Well, it does just, like, the way that... Even if she was 6'10", that is not a bad enough, like, experience that you're saying, oh, beat that. Like, it's so bad. Like, what? It was just so stupid. But it follows this girl, Jodie, and she has this childhood best friend who's, like, in love with her, keeps asking her out. She's like, no, you're short. I don't want to date you. And then this, like, random Swedish guy comes, and he's, like, I think, foreign exchange
What's his name again?
I can't. It's, like...
Wasn't it, like, Swig?
It's something with an S. I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
We're not going to try on here.
Wait, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, my gosh. But, so he moves in. He actually is living in his, like, his foreign exchange family is the guy that likes the girl. So he is living with, I guess, this guy that's in love with the main girl. Anyway, he moves in. She's like, oh my gosh. And he's tall, by the way. So he's this tall guy, attractive. She likes him. All the girls like him. She basically begs her mom and sister to, like, make her up so that she can, like, get with this guy. She ends up, like, kissing the guy, gets with him, and realizes, no, I actually don't like him. And ends up with the childhood best friend in the end. And something that's absolutely cringe about this movie is this childhood best friend of hers is a weirdo. Like, genuinely. He would carry around this milk crate, like a legit milk crate. And he would just carry it around. And at the end of the movie, he's like, so the reason I carry this around is because of this. Puts it down, stands on it, kisses her, and it's like, I've been carrying this around this whole time, just so when I kiss you, I'm taller than you.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can see me physically, like, struggling to,
what?
Like, if someone said that to me, we're done. Get
what?
out.
You have been carrying this around
for like 10 years.
For a girl that has rejected you who knows how many times in order to kiss her. Like, what?
It made zero sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was kind of weird, actually, when you really think
weird.
about it. Like, oh, no.
Like, she's a junior, right? So, like, they're 16. So
maybe 17.
So he's been carrying this around for years.
Gosh. No.
Like, movie. It was just... The storyline of this movie was terrible. Like, yeah, I had Sabrina Carpenter, great. But you know what? Sabrina Carpenter has been in some crappy things too. Yeah. And this was definitely one. This is one that I'm sure she doesn't even want to think about. She's like, I got my check. Yeah. I got my name down on another thing. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Next. Like... Oh, wow, that movie was bad. I forgot about some of that stuff. It just brought up bad memories.
It was,
wow.
It was pretty bad.
Gotta love the trash that people put out sometimes. Okay, I don't know if you guys we are huge fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra...
not as much,
but
it's still good.
It's still good. And so we were, like, crazy fans of, like, anything Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so I believe this is 2013, like 2014. There was like a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie that came out. I'm not telling, not the show that came out like last year. Like, this is a full movie. And so us and all of our siblings, like, we love Avatar: The Last Airbender. We've watched Legend of Korra. We love like that whole like world. Like, oh, this movie's gonna be so good. Like, it's gonna be amazing. And we got the DVD, right? Like, I remember, did we get it from somewhere?
I think we got it from the library, maybe.
Yeah, we got like a DVD from the library because I think the movie had come out a little bit before, but like we were waiting to watch it or something. No,
we started watching Avatar, and then the movie was already out. So it wasn't until we discovered it later.
Oh, I see. So yeah, we discovered it later, and we were like, oh, this movie must be like great then, because it's like a live action. First of all, those of you that know Avatar: The Last Airbender, the main characters' names are Aang, Katara, Sokka, Zuko, and then like Toph wasn't in the movie, but she's.
I forgot she wasn't in that movie. Yeah,
because it has 3 parts, so it was supposed to be the first part. Of course, it never got a second or third, and so first of all in the movie, like. The kid has an arrow on his head because he's like an airbending monk because he has like a blue arrow tattoo. His name's Aang. In the movie, they call him Ung. Ung. They're like, Ung, you've been chosen. Ung.
I know they've been seeing that. I've been dying like when you started saying the characters' names because I just knew how you were going to pronounce it so bad. How did Aang become Ung?
Like, and the thing, his arrow in the movie is like black tattoos. I'm like, why did you guys change how he looks? And then, I mean, I know, like, obviously doing, like, bending elements and moving water and rocks is gonna look weird, but why was there earthbending moving a rock up and down? Like,
and then, no, but it wasn't even that. Like, it took, like, 4 people to move a single rock.
It was, like, 4 of the greatest fighters were like, and like, I'm like,
what is happening?
Oh gosh.
It was
the one thing I can say, at least they stuck to the storyline somewhat.
They did, yeah. We'll give it that.
And then like some of the characters were different races. I was like, why is this person a completely different person from what they are in the cartoon? Like, I think they were trying to make it like culturally correct or something. I was like, just stop. All right, that's enough. Like,
especially something that like is so like, there's this whole thing in Hollywood and Disney and all that, like, oh, we hate the diversity, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not like, we have no problem with that at all. But like, if it's something the story is based on like it's a tribal story. It's about this Fire Nation, right? That has literally like colonized this world. Yeah. And so it's basically like there is a lot of things to do with race and the tribe and everything. And so messing with that takes away from the plot.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Because the point of the story is like basically the Fire Nation is kind of like these people that have taken over the world. They've tried to eradicate the airbenders, the earthbenders, the waterbenders. They're trying to literally rule the world. And so the firebenders were like a completely different race. Like, they looked totally different. Some of their stuff was different.
Their fire was weird too, didn't they? They couldn't make their own fire.
Yeah,
they had to
get fire from a candle. I'm like,
what are you doing?
How are you a bender of an element if you can't even make it? Like, and then I think water too. Like, I mean, but water makes sense. You have to have it. But like fire, it was supposed to come like out of them. You're supposed to be able to just like have it. And
so bad.
Like, the movie, of course, I'm sure most of you know, but I'll give you a quick little rundown. Aang or Ong,
we'll call him Ong because that's what they call him
in the movie is the Avatar, master of the 4 elements: air, water, earth, fire. He's supposed to save the world from the Fire Nation and save the world in general. And it's a great show. Watch the show. The live action, I loved it too. Some people didn't, but I personally loved the live action. Not the movie, though. The movie wouldn't recommend to anyone at all. Like, some of these movies, I would say, give it a try. This movie, don't even give it a second look.
Well, maybe give it a second look to laugh at it. Watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon first. Like, out of everything I think that's on this list that we recommend to watch is Avatar: The Last Airbender, the TV show.
So good.
Such a great show. So many meaningful messages, like found family, friendship, love, literally everything you can want. And it's a children's show too, so it's not like you're gonna have all these crazy stuff in it. Like, it's just like the story is just on the story, and it's just the best. One of my favorite shows.
Love it. Still watch it to this day.
I need to rewatch it.
I'm about to rewatch after this. Let's start the week off right.
I've decided, like, this is a side note, I've just like made a list of like books and TV shows / movies I want to rewatch. Avatar: The Last Airbender is on there.
Such a good show.
It's been a long time since I've watched it, so it's been long coming. But it's so good that I still haven't forgotten the story. Like,
oh yeah, I can recite like everything that's happened every season.
Yes,
maybe even every episode, honestly. Like, That's how much we watched the show.
We rewatched it so many times. Like, we were obsessed. Good. Like, you know, a lot of people became obsessed with the show when it came out on Netflix, and then it became like a TikTok trend and everything. Yeah. No problem with that at all. But we were OGs. Like, we found this, and we like us like
we watched it like Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Okay. We were like way back when you had to like wait for like ads to
Wait, we didn't watch it on Nickelodeon.
What do we watch it on?
Well, we didn't watch it on. We'll just say we watched it on a website.
All right, now.
We're not gonna self-incriminate. We watched it on a website.
Yeah.
We're not gonna self-incriminate ourselves, but we definitely watched it back then, and it was we have 3 other siblings besides us, and so it was us 5, and we all watched it together.
Yeah.
But I think it did come out on Nickelodeon. We would watch it sometimes on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I think something like that. I only remember on Netflix just because it's been on there for so long. Yeah. But I know it was somewhere else before.
Yeah. No, it's a Nickelodeon original. Okay, so my second to last movie. This is... Guys, I've been laughing so much because these movies are just so...
They're just a joke.
They're a joke. That's literally the best way to describe it.
Wow.
This movie is called After.
Oh, gosh.
After, basically, if you don't know what After is, it was this book series on Wattpad. And Wattpad, if you don't know what that is, it's this self-publishing website, became an app. Basically, you could like make a story and you can publish it on Wattpad and people could read it for free. Wattpad has since changed. Things have transformed. There's paywalls. It's very annoying. But After, I think, is one of the most successful book series out of Wattpad. Mm-hmm. It got published, and then it got 3 movies.
It's getting a 4th.
What?
I think they're making a 4th. And
who's going to watch it?
Apparently, someone's been watching the last couple movies because people were saying it should have ended after 1.
It should have. Like, 1 was passable in comparison to 2 and 3. Those were just horrific.
Yeah, I've heard. I didn't even watch it. I've heard those movies just like the storyline doesn't even make sense anymore.
It doesn't.
I think the actual author has like 6 books. I'm like,
really? I thought there was only 3.
What are they making then?
I have no clue. This is news to me, but
they might just be like doing spin-offs, like just making more storylines.
But yeah, After 1, terrible movie. So it follows this girl named Tessa. Tessa goes to college. She's going to college, and she gets dropped off by her mom and her boyfriend. And they get dropped off, you know, it's, oh, lovey-dovey, goodbye, I'll miss you, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, meets her roommate, and then in the course of meeting her roommate, she meets this guy named Hardin. And Hardin is this, you know, attractive, cool, dark, mysterious
guy. Like alcoholic.
Oh, yeah. And she meets him, and it's kind of like that. And then the same roommate invites her to a party. They are playing like Truth or Dare, and basically it comes out that she's like never done anything. Like she's a virgin, and like it just goes through this movie where this guy is like so fixated on that, and he's like, I'm gonna change that.
Ew.
And basically, like, this movie sucks in my opinion because the storyline. In fact, I'm not even sure how I read the books. Like, I read the books years ago.
I read the first book. I don't think I
read all 3. Like, I finished it, but
wow, props to you.
I don't know why I read it. Like, it was terrible. Like, it's cheating. It's this, and I'm like,
yeah,
why?
She's on her like 3 times. I'm like,
why did first of all, she cheated on her boyfriend that dropped her off to college, and ended up with Hardin, who, like, at the time was like, oh, I don't want a girlfriend, and I'm like. And
he has like family issues too, from what I remember.
Huge family issues, and it's just like, it was just a terribly done movie. Like, the movie itself was like the actual like film of it was passing, but the story was just terrible. Like a terrible story.
And like honestly, the acting wasn't that great in the movie either. I'm gonna be honest, especially
people were obsessed with Hardin.
Okay, the actor is attractive.
But like he's not a Noah Centineo.
Yeah,
attractive.
he's not like
Tom Holland.
like, oh my gosh, I'm coming, like you're Timothée Chalamet, you're Jacob Elordi. I'm not coming to the movie theater for him.
No.
The book was okay, and I was like, all right, let me watch this movie. Sucked. Storyline was mid. Actors were mid. And I get it, because when the movie came out, they were up and coming. I know, like, the girl, I don't know what her name is, the actor of Tessa. I know she's been in a few movies here and there. And then the Harden guy, he's done
I'm glad
stuff.
that they've done well. Like, they're not bad actors. Like, they're not. It's just the story was just...
I feel like there's just some scripts that people don't fit well with, and I feel like they were the kind of people. And it was all like at the party scene, he's like, so you're a virgin? And she's like, I'm done with this game. And, like, drops her cup and like leaves, and there's like music. Oh,
the drama was too much.
Oh gosh,
they over dramatized it, and I'm like, you
needed
to chill a bit.
Like, it was just bad. All right, my next movie. This one, I feel like this one might get some people a little mad. This one, Snow White and the Huntsman. This movie, I really wanted to like it because Kirsten Stewart was in it. That was kind of when I was a little late to the Twilight phase, but I still knew who she was. Chris Hemsworth is in this movie. I was like, we got some names in there. Like, let me watch it, right? And so honestly, my biggest problem with the movie is like it's your run of the mill Snow White. It's the evil queen marries Snow White's father. Like, he dies now. She wants to be the prettiest in all the land. So she wants to get rid of Snow White. And so as the story goes, she drives Snow White out of the kingdom, sends a huntsman after her to basically retrieve her heart so the queen can, like, consume it to take her beauty. And, like, as the story goes, like, the huntsman ends up being, like, the good guy. Like, oh, I'm actually going to help you. And so, I thought this movie was about to be, like, great. Like, I thought it was going to have a little twist into it because, there's a movie called Little Red Riding. It's not called Little Red Riding Hood, but it's with Anna Seyfried. Have you heard of it? The one from Mean Girls.
I feel like I vaguely know what you're talking about, but
she was in this Little Red Riding Hood movie, and that one had like a crazy twist. For those of you that have heard of it, I think it's called Red Hood or something.
Oh yeah, I have watched it.
What's it called?
I don't remember.
But like Anna.
We'll put it down in the description.
The Mamma Mia girl, the girl from Mamma Mia, and I don't know how to say her last name. Sorry, but. Like, that movie had a little twist on it. That's when I was into, like, the dark, like, fantasy stuff. So I was like, all right, let me see what this is about. And so I finished the movie, and it was, like, the most basic Snow White movie. It wasn't horrible, but it was, like, first of all, I'm not the biggest fan of Kirsten Stewart's acting. And so it was, like, she kind of already ruined the movie for me, but I was like, Chris Hemsworth. So I'll stick it out, like... It just was so, like, boring to me. It was, like, the huntsman, of course, like, helped her and was, like, her friend and, like, whatever. And then finally she finds a way to come back to the kingdom and she regains her throne and the evil queen is gone and leaves. And I'm like, it did focus on Snow White and the Huntsman, which was, like, that's the title. But, like, I thought there was going to be a twist or, like, they were going to have a romance. No romance. They didn't get together. Kirsten Stewart ended up not being in the second movie because she slept with the director. And the director's wife was also like on set, so she got kicked off the second movie. So that's why she's not in the second movie.
That's crazy.
In case anyone didn't know, that's why. And that's also, I think that's the guy she cheated on Robert Pattinson with. In case anyone didn't know, because I did find that out, and I was like, maybe it's a good reason. Maybe it's a good thing I don't like that movie.
That's so funny. I actually like that movie.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I watched it now, I wouldn't. But I watched it when I was like 13 or 14, and I liked it.
I watched it probably like 2 years ago. So like, I was probably like, it's okay, but
like my taste in a lot of things have changed. So
yeah, we're about to get to one of them.
No, we are. Let's. But before we get to that, I think I did. I did lie about it being the second to last. I have one more till the last one. And real quick, it's called Toy Story 4.
Oh gosh.
So Toy Story 4, we all know Toy Story 1, 2, 3. We love it. It's like nostalgic. We love Andy. We love Woody. But Toy Story 4, Andy he's grown. He's going off to college. He's like, I don't need my toys anymore. So he's been slowly like giving all his toys to his little sister Bonnie, and he finally gives the last bit of his toys to Bonnie. Bonnie doesn't really care about the toys. She's like, I mean, they're cute, but I don't really care. So she goes to kindergarten, and the first day of kindergarten, she makes this fork toy thing in kindergarten.
The Sporky or whatever it's called.
And it becomes Sporky, and she loves Sporky. But Sporky thinks he's trash. Sporky's depressed. Sporky has issues. We don't know what's going on with Sporky, but he needs help. And that's where Woody comes in, and Woody's like, I need to protect Sporky. Like, he's trying to off himself. Like, no, I need to make sure that he's there for Bonnie. Through a series of events, like they find some like lost toys, and they join a carnival, and it ends up them like going to the carnival and the lost toys. Like, crazy movie out of nowhere. Went from like number 3, which was like genuinely like the clapping monkey scaring you, to like suspense, to like them going to some carnival. And I'm like,
how'd you guys even get here?
How did this story get to this?
Like,
it was just and I remember we watched this, and we had a family friend that invited us to this event, and so my whole family and we watched this in the movie theater. It was like a private like viewing. I have never in my life gone to a movie theater and been on my phone. Like, I just don't do that. Even if like most movies are not that bad that I have to do that. But I was on my phone. I looked over to my siblings. They were on their phone.
I had to do that in the Trap movie, too.
This movie sucked. Toy Story 4 was terrible. And I'm disappointed they've ended that beautiful trilogy with number 4.
It's trilogy.
What did I say?
Trilogy.
Oh, whoops.
Trilogy. I feel like trilogy sounds like would make more sense.
Sometimes English isn't my first language.
Yes, it is. You're a liar.
I love making that joke. No, English is my first language. Sometimes I'm saying stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, number 4, bad. We forget about it. We move on.
Stick to 1, 2, and 3. My last movie for this normal round, I should say, is Twilight 1. The movie, because I did read the book as a kid, and we all like the books, like me and my sisters.
We're big Twilight fans in this house.
Like, I read the book, and I was waiting to watch the movie for like a long time. She had hyped it up so much that I was like, this movie's gonna be great. Like, it's gonna be the best romance story. Like, Edward's gonna be so cool. Like, Bella's gonna be amazing. And thinking of it now, the book was weird itself. Like, there's some books that really shouldn't be made into movies, because it's like, it's weird. Like, the book is weird. He watches her sleep.
But that's the point. It's supposed to be a weird fantasy book.
I know, and I'm saying that's great in a book, but like when you bring that to real life, that just blurs.
No.
But my biggest problem with this movie was the acting. Kirsten Stewart, once again,
all of them. They were like
Robert Pattinson too.
Crazy.
The only one I will say is Taylor Lautner did a pretty good job.
He did. I would say he did a good job.
And he was young in that movie too. I think he was 15 when they filmed the very first movie. So he was pretty young. Like he'd been a child actor, but sometimes it's hard for child actors.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That movie has my heart forever.
She took my dream journal. Mr. Principal, send him to the principal's office immediately. I don't even know the lines.
Oh my gosh. Those like accounts on Instagram that just like every day they post like one-liners from like movies?
Yeah.
I followed that one because it was so fun.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, like Twilight 1, like this, it follows, like a quick summary of it, follows a girl. She is, she's feels like she doesn't belong anywhere. She meets this guy. She's infatuated with him. He's mysterious. He seems to hate her, learns that he's a vampire, falls in love, the whole shebang. And it's like there's 4 books and then 5 movies. Yosa's right in that it shouldn't have been made into a movie at that time because the first movie sucks. It had some green screen that was like, and when I say green screen, it's not like, oh, behind, but like the color grading was green. I don't know who decided that was smart, but they were trying to make it depressing and like
mysterious.
But it wasn't.
Monsters.
It looked cheap. It looked poor, and I'm like, this movie is just something. But that's one point, and it's just my last movie is Twilight 2. Or New Moon, Twilight New Moon. And I actually hate the book too. I actually don't like it. I think
it's just depressing.
It's depressing. And I'm like, girl, why are you like depressed for like half the book? And then like she goes from Jacob to I just personally like didn't like the depression of it. It went from like I'm in love with this vampire to he left me, and then like the next book he comes back and I'm just like, like let's pause.
They're together. And then, like, something happens, like, his brother actually attacks her because she gets a paper cut. And, you know, like, vampires, like, they need control over the bloodthirst. And so he attacks her, and it's like, oh, I need to protect you. Like, I have to leave. We're all leaving. She's like, I'll come with you. And he's like, no. And he, like, disappears, like, the next day. And it's, like, 4 months.
I think so.
Yeah, it's like 4 months, and she's just depressed.
Sitting on her chair, Charlie, her dad's like, what is wrong with my daughter?
What is going on over a boy? He's probably thinking, like, girl, stand up. Like,
stand up.
Get over this boy that literally you dated for, like, 3 months.
No,
like,
for real.
Like, come on now. Ugh.
Oh, my gosh. But like we promised, we have our final movie. It is
Napoleon Dynamite. And for those of you that haven't heard of it,
go watch it. We're not going to give a summary. I think that this is a movie that
everyone
you
has to
need to experience for the first time. But in our opinion, we don't relate to it just because the way our family is. Like, we're not from rural America. We're like parents that are immigrants. Like, it just doesn't correlate with us. And so
the characters are just weird.
They're weird.
Like, this sounds like mean, but I don't like weirdos. Like, if you're weird to me, I don't like it. It's not like they tried to make it funny.
Like quirky weird. Like there's weird and there's quirky weird.
It was like gross weird.
Yeah, gross weird.
Like, I don't want you near me, restraining order immediately. Kind of weird. Like, no. I mean, it's an acquired taste.
People love it. Americans love it. We don't.
But, if you like the movie, great. Comment down below. I actually really want to see what people think about this movie. If you like it, comment. If you don't, please comment that you agree with us, because it's weird.
And we feel like we're the only ones. Everyone I talk to is like, what are you talking about? That's a great movie.
Like,
blah,
it's
blah,
so fun. Like, everyone thinks it's so funny. It's not, like, I don't even think people think it's that good of a movie. They just think it's hilarious.
It's not funny. There's nothing funny about it, in my opinion.
Weird.
It's a weird movie.
I don't know. People, like, dressed up as him for Halloween, like, the main character. I'm like, go you. Like, go you. I mean, like, it's funny. Like, I get why you would dress up as it for Halloween. But I'm like, I can't even fathom the movie. Like, no. Multiple times people have tried to get me to watch it. No. Thank you. No.
But thanks so much for listening in and watching our episode. We really love talking about the 10 worst movies we've ever watched in our lives. Like Yosa said in the beginning, this is just our personal opinion. And some of these are like not necessarily based on the film, but definitely based on just the writing or just so many different aspects. So we hope you enjoyed it. Like Yosa said, let us know in the comments what you think about Napoleon Dynamite, and honestly any of the other movies. Do you disagree with us? Do you agree with us? We would love to hear about it. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and make sure to subscribe and like this video. We will see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks so much for staying all the way through.